Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens. I'm the author of the Tanyuin Academy series, and this is English Nerd. So I thought I would do another coffee talk today, just like what is it really like to finish a series and give you a little bit of behind the scenes of some of the things that went wrong and some of the things that went right and all of that. So, you know, grab your coffee or your tea or whatever it is that you like to drink, and let's chat for a few minutes. Yeah, so Kingdoms on Fire, which is the last book in the series, comes out on Tuesday. July 6, 2021 is this upcoming Tuesday. So that is going to be the final book in that series, which is just pretty crazy to think about. I'm super, super proud of those 3 books. But let me talk to you just a little bit about the things that went wrong as I was working on these. I've talked about that a little bit in previous videos, but yeah, some things that were difficult with this final book. Just in the writing phase, I put a lot of pressure on myself to write a really good ending, and so I felt a little bit crippled. It felt like writer's block, but I think writer's block it's the name that we give to a lot of other things, like depression or exhaustion or confusion or just not being in the mood. And so for this, I wasn't 100% sure the direction that I was going to take this, and there's so many moving pieces in this final book that I felt kind of overwhelmed, and so that translated into writer's block. So it was a harder book to write in some ways than, well, they all had kind of their unique challenges, but that was the hardest thing for Kingdoms on Fire, was just the pressure I was putting on myself to finish things off super well. And then, of course, with COVID taking over all of our lives for the last year and a half, I didn't call bookstores early enough to do signings this week, which I was really hoping to do. I thought I would do a little tour of Colorado, at least, not so much a tour of the country, but at least a tour of the state and do some signings at different places, and that didn't happen because I didn't call. I still plan on having those in the future, but really it would have been convenient to have it this upcoming week, and that's not the case. Part of that was actually my fault, because when I initially contacted my local Barnes & Noble, the one where I've done signings before that have been successful, they came back and said essentially that they weren't doing in-person events yet, which is surprising because as I'm making this video, the mask mandates have all gone away, and at least in Colorado Springs, life has returned to relative normalcy. So it's a matter of days that they're gonna get back to doing in-person events, it seems to me. But also on Ingram Spark, which is my printing service, I forgot to make the books returnable, and they have to be returnable to be bought for signing. So there's some risk involved, because if for whatever reason nobody came or bought the books, then I would eat the cost if they decided to return those. But I haven't had that problem before, so I had to go back and mark them as returnable. And then I had another issue after I got my beautiful cover all finalized and everything. I got a proof copy, like I always do. I get an early copy for myself so that I can just take a physical look at it. Normally that comes honestly a month before the book comes out. And so when I got my first proof copy of the paperback, there were actually a couple things wrong with it. They had made a mistake, but I had also made a mistake. So this, I asked for all my paperbacks to be matte, but you can see this is not matte. This is shiny. So that was kind of unexpected. And then the bigger issue was that I did not format it correctly. You see how those margins are all teeny tiny? Yeah, so I had forgotten to switch over my formatting from hardcover, which is bigger, it's a bigger book, to paperback. Let me actually, I'm just gonna go grab that and show you. Okay, so this is the second paperback that I got. You can see that this one is matte, and inside the margins are normal and as they ought to be. But I do my own formatting as well, so I had kept the formatting for the bigger book, and you can see they're clearly not the same size. I needed to change the margins up. I don't know how interested you are in these nitty-gritty things, but I'm assuming that if you are watching these videos on my channel that you're interested in probably writing a book yourself, or just reading this amazing book. I am super proud of it. So kind of switching from the things that went wrong to things that are awesome about finishing a series. The payoff, the just kind of emotional payoff of it. I've said in earlier videos that putting that number 1 on Firian Rising was one of the most intimidating things about publishing that book. And then leaving number 2 with a cliffhanger really locked me into having to write this final book. And to actually have it now sitting on my shelf 1, 2, 3 in a row is it's a crazy kind of feeling. Honestly, it's hard to move on from this book and these characters and this story. As I'm writing new things, and I am writing new things, I keep just going back to these characters and situations. Happily, what I'm writing next is all going to be set in the same world as the Tanyuin Academy series, so I can keep the maps and, because I have my maps, right? I can keep my maps and continue to use those for upcoming stories. Yeah, it's nice as well because people who don't like to start a series that's unfinished can now get all 3, and there's actually a payoff at the end and an ending that feels like you've arrived somewhere. I'm sure I mentioned in an earlier video, but it's like it was my Olympic qualifying moment. But people have cried at the end just because it was the end, and that's the kind of experience that I wanted to be able to offer to other people, because that kind of experience has meant so much to me. As I'm writing and creating these things, and I'm sure as you're writing your stories as well, it's stuff that you would want to read. It's people that you want to follow and places that you want to see, and it's very cool when some of that actually translates to other people and they're able to also enter into this world and into these characters' heads and experience what they're experiencing and enjoy it as well. It's that is a dream come true for sure. Yeah. Another cool thing about finishing a series is that you get the excuse of a launch party. And so I'm actually having a launch party. If you're in Colorado Springs on the launch day, July 6th, 2021, which is a Tuesday, then definitely stop by Ivy Wild School at 6 p.m. or onwards. You can just drop by. It's a renovated elementary school that has different bars and restaurants inside, different seating arrangements, and so I'm going to be in there signing books. And so if you are a fan of the Tanyuin Academy series, or if you've just been watching English Nerd for a long time and want to drop by and say hi, that is where I will be on launch day, which is less than a week away. Completely nuts. Once you finish a series, though, it's tough to think about working on something else. I have big plans, big ideas, so don't be afraid of that. But it's just pivoting is a weird sort of experience. My last few summers have been Tanyuin Academy focused, and now that's not true in the same way as it's been before. But on the bright side, I've got this whole series. Look at it! Look how beautiful that is. Gosh, that's so pretty. Hopefully you got something out of this. If you have any questions about self-publishing really lovely books like this, or just about the stories themselves, if you've read the books and you have questions, I would love to hear those. You can put those in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you on those things. Yeah, hopefully you got something out of this. If you have not read the Tanyuin Academy series yet, the YA fantasy, then definitely check it out. It is a pretty wild ride. If you like Shadow and Bone, the Leigh Bardugo stuff, then chances are that you'll really like this as well. So you can pre-order ebook, hardcover, or paperback. I have the paperback and the hardcover right here. Look, there's the hardcover. Isn't it pretty? Here's the paperback. Also lovely. Really anywhere that you would normally get books. So I have the links down below. You can check those out. Yeah, hopefully I can see some of you on July 6th. That would be really amazing. Okay, make sure to like this video if you like it, and I will talk to you soon.